Right, good morning everybody. Welcome along. It's Tuesday the 7th of July 2020. A nice early start today. As I've told you in yesterday's blog, I've got hospital at 10:30 with a podiatrist. Then I've got to get back here to go to the doctor's for 4 appointments. That should be fun, shouldn't it? I think not. Right, we've got a few comments to read out from my good friend Terry. He says, I'm sorry to say the only thing that grows in my garden is the grass. Yes, I know, Terry, and you're very slack at actually cutting it. I think your lawnmower has a wheel missing, if I remember rightly. And earlier in the year, he says, I was going to the gym twice a week, but since lockdown, I've not kept this up. No, you sat indoors eating chocolate biscuits. I know. We're all the same, mate. And, oops, I don't have a games console anymore. Bring back the Commodore 64. Now, Gavin touched on this yesterday. We had the ZX81, Amiga 500, the Amstrad, BBC computers. What did you have? Come on, let us know in the comment box below. Terry always says that true friends will always stand by you no matter what life throws at them. Very true, my friend. Very true. And he says, I like a good roast dinner. Oh, yeah, you've got to sit down as a family. But I really can't remember when I sat down at a table with family or friends for dinner. Well, we'll have to put that right. We'll have to have a reunion and a great big Sunday dinner. Gavin is not cooking it. Gavin once cooked some barbecue sausages. Chris Reardon was there, and Gavin nearly killed him. Black on the outside and pink in the middle, I know. And Terry says about box sets, you could try watching Doctor Who on UK TV, which I've done, on demand services, or subscribe to BritBox. I love BritBox. Best $9.99 I spend every month. And guess what? His favourite radio station is MassiveHitsUK.com. Go and have a look and see what you think of Terry's station. And thanks, mate. I will do okay on Popmaster when I eventually have a go. Just let me have a sip. You can't start the morning without a coffee, especially out of a Wildlight radio mug. Oh, it tastes so much better. Right, loads to get through today, and I mean loads. Well, Tracy went up the shop for me this morning because I was low on my tobacco and I've got to have a smoke in the morning along with my coffee. And she treated me to a bottle of Pepsi Max. Well, I stopped drinking Pepsi because at $1.79 for a 2-litre bottle I thought was very expensive. So we switched to Asda's own brand Diet Cola at 45p a bottle. And I must say, out of the two, I do prefer Asda's own brand. It's a lot cheaper and it tastes much better. I thought Pepsi Max tasted a bit bitter. It didn't taste like it used to. I don't know if they've changed the recipe or not. Speaking of recipes, I'm going to show you at the end of today's blog what we've got for dinner, okay? We made it first thing this morning, about 5:30, and I'll tell you what, if you could smell this video, you'd go, oh, can I have some? Speaking of this morning, when I took my entourage of tablets, I put them on my mouth. I usually take them all in one go because I can handle taking vast amounts of tablets. Not this morning. I put them on my mouth, had a drink of coffee, and they got stuck in my chicken neck here. Oh my God, I nearly passed out. I did. Coughing and spluttering, I stood up, the room had gone dizzy. I actually made it to the kitchen sink and I thought I was going to be sick, but I wasn't. So I've got to be careful. I might start taking them individually in the future. Now, I'm going to talk about my horrible legs. I told you yesterday about the water retention that I've got. Well, they're trying something called compression, where it's meant to force the water back out the right channels rather than leaking out my legs. Well, I say water, it's actually protein that is leaking. There's bandages called PB7, yeah? Now, it's like plaster of Paris bandages, you know, like they put on your legs when you're having a plaster cast put on. It's like that's the cat using the cat tray. He'll be running around in a minute, like I told you about in previous videos. Just let me have a look. What are you doing? People don't want to hear you. Can you come and rescue Magnet, please? But I tell you the secret. See what I do? I get the broom and I go like this across the floor, and he legs it. So, right, he's gone. Yeah, PB7 is like a plaster of Paris bandage that they wrap around your legs. But what they fail to tell you is, when your leg leaks, this plaster of Paris doesn't dry, it stays wet. So you're getting your protein leaking back into your body. So they've stopped, well, the community nurse that came Sunday has stopped putting it on. So I'm going to speak to somebody at the hospital when I go in a few minutes and have a word with them. Right. Speaking of tablets, do you go to your local Boots, Lloyd's, your local pharmacy and collect them? Or do you have them delivered? Now, I know Gavin has all his medication, delivered from a company through the post to his front door, and he doesn't seem to have any problems. Now, when I need all my medication, we have to put a repeat prescription in, like most people do. And hopefully it's electronically sent to our local chemist, which we use is Boots. Now, half the time, half the prescription is missing. So my wife has to ring the doctors. The doctors say, oh no, we've sent it over. But luckily, she's good friends with the manager, Alison, at our local Boots. And somewhere between Boots and someone typing it on the electronic keyboard to send it over, it doesn't happen. So I want to know your solutions to getting your prescriptions without, excuse me, none of the muck-ups that keep occurring. Well, this is nearly at room temperature, just how I like it. Oh, what have we got else? Oh, yeah. As I've got my hand over my mouth, I'm going to ask you, what do you think of face masks? I mean, I've got a Doctor Who face mask made by somebody funny enough called Alison. Yeah, I bought it off of eBay. And I quite like it. But you're getting back to the reality now of wearing it. Now, when you've got a face mask on, whatever establishment you go into, you have to cover not only your mouth, but your nostrils, you see, because droplets of snot, as I would call them, can fly out and hit someone in the face, same as out of your mouth. Well, what do you always do with the face mask? You're always touching it, moving it, blah-de-blah-de-blah. And then what else do? You go into a shop and you open the door. So whatever germs you've got on your hand from touching your face mask, you've now transferred to the door of the shop that you're going into. Or the car that you're getting into. Are you with me? It's not rocket science. I mean, I'm no scientist, but I know that germs spread very, very easily. I mean, like, you've touched your mask, yeah, for example, yeah. You've then touched your mobile phone, and then your mate, Gavin, he says, oh, my battery's a bit low. Can I borrow your phone, mate? So I said, of course you can. So Gavin picks my phone up, and if there's any disease spread from my hand, from my mouth to my hand, to the phone, Gavin picks my phone up, yeah? Think about it. He's then got the disease. And then Gavin, if he hasn't washed his hands, he will go and touch a door somewhere else, yeah? It spreads so easily. You just don't realise how hard it is not to spread the disease. Now, speaking of Gavin, I'm going to use him as an example as well. Gavin and I, we've both got our disabilities and we possess a blue badge for our car, which means that you can park most places free of charge. You can even park on a double yellow line as long as you're not causing obstruction or blocking a junction. Well, when I first got my blue badge, we went off to Bognor, straight into Morrison's to do our shopping. Yeah, done the shopping, came home. A few days later, we got a letter through the post. You're going to get a fine of £60 for parking without getting a ticket. I thought, strange, I've got a blue badge. But it doesn't apply to private car parks. They can still charge you even if you have a blue badge. Anyway, I emailed them and said that, you know, I just got a blue badge, blah, 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 blah. And they emailed me back and said, as a gesture of goodwill, they will waiver the fine this time, but please be aware to check the actual notice on the car park before you actually park. If it says it's free, it's free. If it says blue badges still must get a ticket, you must get a ticket. So that's what we've always done. Well, we went to see Gavin, I think it was last year or the year before, and we went out for a meal in one of the lovely pubs in Huntingdon, and they always park in the same car park. So in we go. I get out the car, look at the signage, and it explains quite clearly that even if you've got a blue badge, you've got to pay for your ticket. And Gavin goes, no, I've never paid in here, never paid in here. So we said, oh, I said, well, I'm getting a ticket anyway, mate. Well, on that occasion, he got away with it. But a few weeks later, guess what? Yeah, Gavin got a ticket through the post. Funny, eh? A very, very expensive lesson. Cost him 60 quid, and if he hadn't paid it within 10 days, it would have doubled. Oh, my goodness. Right, just a few more things to talk about. Social media. Are you scared about the coronavirus regarding items that you actually read on Facebook? I would be. Don't believe social media. Don't believe it at all. Half the stuff that you read is fake news. You know, I wouldn't post anything on Facebook to do with this horrible virus unless I knew it was gospel, meaning it had come from Boris's own mouth, yeah? Not through one person I can't stand. I won't mention names, but she's a horrible lady and she works for Sky News. When the elections were on and Brexit, all she wanted to do was slag poor Boris off. When Boris was put in hospital due to the COVID disease that he caught, oh, Boris this, Boris that, what a nice bloke. And then she started again. Well, what's going to happen if anything happens to Boris? Who will run the country? Who cares who runs the country? We're not interested in that. All we're interested in is Boris getting better, like he has done, and leading us through this horrible pandemic. Great Prime Minister, and I'll tell you what, all the time he's in power, he will get my vote. Right, I was going to talk about online shopping, but I think I will leave that until tomorrow. Now, I did promise you, just let me, I'm not very good with this camera. I don't know if it's going to work. Just let me walk across the kitchen without falling over. It might work. Just got to see if I can turn the camera around. No. So I'm going to have to do it this way. Right, down here, we have my lovely slow cooker. I don't know if you can see it. I think you can. Actually, Tracy, would you mind coming here, please? I'll get the lovely Tracy to show you, because not that she can see. Ah, there it is. Right, hold on. Up or down? Up or down? No, that way. That way. That way. It's not working, you know. I can't seem to get the slow cooker into... Right, there's the slow cooker. There's the lid. She's taking it off. Look at that. It doesn't look very good, does it? But what we got in there, we had to look through our freezer before our big shop comes on the 14th. And we found some meatballs. And it got me thinking, what shall I do? So, 2 large onions, yeah? Jar of tikka masala sauce. There's half a stew pack. You know, your carrots, swede, potatoes, onions and leeks. Some garlic powder. Excuse me. And it's all gone in there. and it smells absolutely fabulous. I will let you know tomorrow what it actually tastes like. It may be good. It might make me go, bleh. You never know. Anyway, I've got to rush to the hospital, and I will tell you all about that later on during the week. And I'll also be asking your opinion on online shopping. Right, don't forget to like, subscribe, share the post with your friends and family. Have a look on Facebook. Yeah, Gary's blog. Add me on there. And don't forget to sign up to my friend's page, Gavin Bass, Gav Out and About. And he's still got that competition going, which is who won the X Factor in 2010 for your chance to win a smartwatch. Right, you be good, have a good day, and as I always say, wash them hands. Ta-ra.